For my thoughts on all the latest happenings in the NFL in a completely relaxed, unscripted format, be sure to check out my channel, JG9 News. And now, on with our feature presentation. I want to give you a hypothetical scenario that might come to fruition relatively soon, but you never know. You probably know who this man right here is. This is Tom Brady, as in the legendary quarterback of the New England Patriots. I don't know how much I actually need to say about Brady. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer when the time comes. He won 6 Super Bowls with the Patriots. He made 14 Pro Bowls with the Patriots. He won 3 MVP awards with the Patriots. And he is widely considered to be the greatest quarterback to ever play this sport. And because of how good he was, the Patriots did the honor of retiring his jersey number, making it so that no one could ever wear the number 12 jersey again. You've got to be really freaking good to have your number retired by the team. You don't just get your number retired willy-nilly. However, Tom Brady is, well, Tom Brady. And this retirement means that no one, not a single person, is ever going to wear the number 12 jersey again for New England. Now let's say that the Patriots make a trade to acquire star wide receiver Brandon Ayuk from the San Francisco 49ers. He is disgruntled, he did request a trade, the Patriots have cap room, and he doesn't have a lot of time left on his current contract. The Pats get the deal done, and when Ayuk lands in Foxborough, the team asks him what jersey number he wants to wear. And Brandon Ayuk decides to say, I want to wear the number 12 jersey. That's my favorite number, and I want to wear it. The Patriots, naturally, say that he cannot have that number, because it's retired for Tom Brady, and retired numbers are retired forever. But Ayuk doesn't seem to understand that concept, and throws a fit as a result, upset that the Patriots won't let him wear the number 12 jersey. That would seem really stupid on the part of Brandon Ayuk, and that would make him look like an idiot and a brat. That would seem like a really bad first impression to make with your new team, right? Speaking of first impressions, however, if this is your first impression to the channel, and you want a place where you can learn more about the weird and wacky history of the NFL, and weird things that you might not know about, like the story in today's video, then be sure to hit that like button down below, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss a single video that we post, because we post every single day, and we are so close to 60,000 subscribers. So hit that subscribe button and join the community now. Thanks in advance for your support. Well, I bring all of that up because this man right here is a wide receiver by the name of Dick Gordon. While you're watching highlights of him right now from his time with the Chicago Bears, in 1972, he would get traded and would join a new team, traveling across the country to play with the Los Angeles Rams. However, when Gordon requested to wear a particular jersey number, he didn't seem to understand the concept of retired jerseys all that well, and left a bitter taste in the mouths of many when he requested a jersey number that was never going to be taken out of circulation, and didn't seem to take no for an answer. It made Dick Gordon seem like a real, well, you can fill in the blank on that one. Because this is the story behind what might just be, considering the circumstances, the strangest jersey number controversy in the near 90-year history of the Los Angeles Rams franchise. Before I talk about the actual controversy in question and how bizarre it was, we need some context to understand just who this man right here, Dick Gordon, even was in the first place, and how he got to the Rams to begin with. The Chicago Bears have been around for a century, and yet, you can make the legitimate argument that Dick Gordon was one of the greatest receivers to ever play for the team. Now, that's a pretty low bar in many ways because they have not had a lot of talent at that position, but Gordon was an exceptional player, as ever since he got drafted by the team in the 7th round of the 1965 NFL Draft, he produced at an incredibly high level. Most notably, during the 1970 season, he had 71 receptions for 1,026 yards and 13 touchdowns. His 71 catches ranked first in the entire NFL, making just the 3rd receiver and, to date, the last receiver in Bears history to ever lead the league in this category. His 1,026 yards ranked 3rd in the NFL, only trailing Gene Washington of the San Francisco 49ers and Marlon Briscoe of the Buffalo Bills. And his 13 touchdowns led the entire NFL, making him, to date, the final receiver in Bears history to ever lead the NFL in this category. Based on how he stacked up against his peers, Dick Gordon had, by far, the greatest season by any wide receiver in Bears history in the Super Bowl era. And in 1971, following a Pro Bowl campaign and the AP First Team All-Pro campaign, he picked up right where he left off with another Pro Bowl season where he had 43 catches for 610 yards and 5 touchdowns. By this point in his career, Dick Gordon, who was just 27 years old by the time the 1971 season ended, had 238 catches for 3,550 yards and 35 touchdowns, making him one of just 67 players in league history to have 35 receiving touchdowns. And remember, he was in the prime of his career, so he had a real chance to climb up that leaderboard even more as the years went on. However, despite his great play with the Bears, he was unhappy in the Windy City and wanted a trade. I'm not going to dive into everything regarding the trade, because that's an entire video with how much there is to cover. But here's the brief summation of the situation. Gordon played out his option in Chicago, and felt that he was being treated poorly by the team, not just from a financial standpoint, but from a segregation standpoint, a claim which owner George Halas strongly disagreed with, even going so far as saying that he didn't hate Gordon, and the only person he ever hated in his life was Adolf Hitler. Yeah, I told you this story was weird. After playing out his option, Gordon made it clear that he was never going to play another game for the Bears. And because free agency did not exist unless the Bears cut him, the only way that Gordon was going to play again was through a trade. The Los Angeles Rams, needing some help at wide receiver, decided to trade for this man right here, Dick Gordon, and gave up a first-round pick in 1974 to do so, even though the Bears were furious that all they got was a first-rounder in 1974, because they wanted immediate help. However, as part of the Rozelle rule, it was Commissioner Pete Rozelle who laid out the trade terms. This, as you might have been able to guess, was highly controversial and borderline illegal, being a massive violation of antitrust laws, and the Rozelle rule was eventually scrapped because the NFL lost in court. This was definitely the last time that the NFL ever lost an antitrust lawsuit. I told you, the details of this trade are insane and worthy of a documentary in itself, but that's the SparkNotes version of it. After all that chaos and drama and controversy, Dick Gordon was now a Los Angeles Ram. And even though this doesn't have anything to do with the actual jersey number controversy that we're about to dive into, I'd be remiss if I didn't at least bring up the fact that while this was all going down, and while the Bears were trying to trade him, Dick Gordon was in jail. Seriously, Gordon was serving some time in jail for failure to file a tax return. As other teams were trying to acquire him, Gordon was behind bars because he couldn't pay his taxes. How you're an NFL player and you forget to do that, I have no clue. But I already told you, the details of this trade were absolutely insane. There's so much to dive into with that trade. I'm just giving you the SparkNotes version of it. And if you thought that everything would die down and calm down after Gordon got on the Rams, not even close, my friend. Not even close. Because now that this man right here, Dick Gordon, was a member of the Los Angeles Rams, he needed to pick out a jersey number to wear with the Rams. And as you might have been able to guess based on the highlights you've seen from Gordon in Chicago, he wore the number 45 jersey when he was with the Bears. Many players, if given the opportunity, will carry their jersey number over from one team to another. Tom Brady wore the number 12 jersey with both the New England Patriots and his new team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Brett Favre wore the number 4 jersey with both the Green Bay Packers and his new team, the New York Jets, and Jerry Rice wore the number 80 jersey with both the San Francisco 49ers and his new team, the Oakland Raiders. However, Gordon was not one of those players. He wanted a fresh start, and wanted to wear a number that he hadn't worn before, not having worn it in the pro level or in the collegiate level. He wanted to wear the number 7 jersey. He wanted to go into the single digits and do something completely different by donning the number 7. However, There was just one small problem with that. There was just one teeny tiny problem that you might have been able to guess based on how this video is going. And that is the fact that, well, the number 7 jersey was retired. Because this man right here is quarterback Bob Waterfield, and he is widely considered to be one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of the sport. Waterfield played 8 seasons with the Rams, with 7 of them being while the team was in Los Angeles, and the other one being while the team was in Cleveland. And he was almost impossible to stop under center. Over his career, Waterfield was named an AP First Team All-Pro 3 times, was named an AP Second Team All-Pro twice, and he led the league in touchdown passes twice. With Waterfield under center, the Rams made it to the NFL Championship 4 times, including 3 consecutive seasons from 1949 to 51, and the Rams won the NFL Championship twice, winning it in 1945 and in 1951. The best period of franchise history came with Waterfield as the quarterback. By the time Waterfield's career ended after the 1952 season, he ranked 4th all-time in passing yards, only behind Sammy Baugh, Otto Graham, and Sid Luckman, and he ranked 5th all-time in passing touchdowns. Waterfield was named the MVP of the NFL in 1945, winning the Joe Carr Trophy, was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1965, and he became a member of the All-1940s team, considered to be one of the top quarterbacks of the decade. In the pre-merger era, if you were creating a Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks, there's a good chance that Bob Waterfield would be on that. And because of his great play, not the least of which included a Hall of Fame induction, the Rams made the decision after Waterfield retired following the 1952 season that no one was going to wear that jersey number ever again. For as long as this franchise is around, and for as long as the Rams are a team, no one is going to wear number 7. That is going to be reserved for Bob Waterfield, and Bob Waterfield only, to honor his legacy as the greatest quarterback in franchise history who guided us to so many championship appearances. In fact, Waterfield was the first and only jersey number retired by the Rams at the time. So when it came to this man right here, Dick Gordon, he could pick any other number. Literally, he could choose any other number he wanted, but the only number he could not have was number 7, because that was out of circulation. So what number did Dick Gordon want? That's right, he still wanted the number 7 jersey. He actually made it very clear that he wanted number 7, even despite the fact that it had been retired by the team, and for good reason. And even despite the fact that, may I remind you, Gordon had never worn number 7 at any point in his career. So while there may have been a personal reason why he wanted that number that was never disclosed, there was never any professional reason or branding reason behind it. I don't know if Gordon just didn't understand the concept of retired jerseys, or if he was just so adamant about wanting that number 7 jersey since no one else on the roster right now had it. But it seemed like Gordon was making a massive deal out of this, to the point where this became public, and it took head coach Tommy Prothero to flat out tell him, no, you cannot have this number. It's retired. No one can have it. This all could have stayed behind closed doors and been a complete non-story, but nope. Gordon and the Rams had to make this a public controversy, which honestly would be a pretty good omen for how Gordon's time in Los Angeles would go, seeing as he only lasted 12 months in LA. Despite the fact that the Rams gave up a first-round pick for the man, Gordon had just 3 receptions for 29 yards, doing next to nothing, in part because of injuries, as despite staying relatively healthy in Chicago, he couldn't shake off the injuries for some reason on the West Coast. Combine his injuries with his attitude, where he got into a verbal altercation with an assistant coach, and he was released midway through the 1973 season, latching on with the Green Bay Packers and then the San Diego Chargers in 1974 before never playing in the NFL again. His highlights with the Rams were the same as his chances of ever getting that number 7 jersey, even despite his begging and pleading. 0. And I should note regarding this team behind me right here, that Bob Waterfield's number 7 jersey is still retired to this day and is still out of circulation. Now, since 1952, the Rams have retired many more jerseys, including Marshall Faulk, Eric Dickerson, Isaac Bruce, Deacon Jones, Jackie Slater, Jack Youngblood. They've retired quite a few jerseys. But I'm assuming that number 99 will be retired soon for Aaron Donald as well. Having said that, Bob Waterfield's number 7 jersey has remained out of circulation, as only a handful of players have worn that jersey, and none since 1952, when Waterfield last appeared on an NFL field. It's been over 70 years since anyone wore that number 7 jersey, and even though everyone involved has long since passed, including Waterfield, who died about 40 years ago, the number 7 jersey will not be worn anytime soon. At the very least, Dick Gordon, of all people, did not get the chance to wear it. I don't want to say it never hurts to ask, because we have seen players get a number that was retired out of circulation for a temporary period. Look at Peyton Manning with the Denver Broncos keeping the number 18 jersey, or Jerry Rice with the Seattle Seahawks keeping the number 80 jersey, or J.J. Watt with the Arizona Cardinals keeping the number 99 jersey. All 3 of those numbers were previously retired. However, that was done through the blessing of the player in question, or their family. It was not done by a player just repeatedly asking for the number and making a private matter public, especially when said number was, quite literally, the only number taken out of circulation. Dick Gordon, who ended up settling on the number 5 jersey, just didn't seem to get it at all. And while the Rams definitely had their faults in the early 70s, it's tough to blame them too much for this. The moral of the story is that retired means retired, and that means that it stays out of circulation forever, and that no means no. Because in 1972, when it came to picking a jersey number with the Rams, Dick Gordon acted like a real, well, you already know. Get your official Jaguar Gear 9 merchandise by going to jj9shop.com, and be sure to like and subscribe, as it really helps the channel out a lot. Join me every Wednesday night where we'll play NFL Trivia for cash prizes at 9 p.m. Eastern over on Twitch. To learn more about the history of college football, subscribe to Jaguar Gator 8. To learn more about the history of Major League Baseball, subscribe to Jaguar Gator 7. Also, special thanks to all of our Patreon supporters for helping out the channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. See how you can become a patron and request future video topics in the description below.